I was at the wedding with Jason, and they were like, "Bro, we gotta go. Mink is babysitting." I'm like, "You got Mink to babysit Tate? Get out of here, bro! Go."
I was like, I didn't sign up for this shit.
You never changed a diaper
Jenny
before?
told me I had to change a diaper.
He said, "Just sit with him on the iPad."
He buried the lead.
Ask at livebeard.com.
Not ask. What you don't understand is the
spot opened up literally next door.
Or
That's a
it's
big
real.
freaking win for the company because
We started this show because
Spencer and Anthony.
it's crazy how loyal
you guys were thirsty for some
one of the
rules.
encouraging men to be the best version. Ask us anything.
Welcome to the Beardsmen.
That is a good question.
You know, you got 14 hours, let's say, a little bit burnt out, unmotivated.
Week, not their birthday.
I gotta extend it.
Welcome to the Beardsmen, the show where we talk, mock, and never walk away from the conversation. I am here with the founders of Live Bearded, also known as the Beardsmen, also known as Mink and Spencer.
What's up, guys? I'm Spence.
My name is Mink, and we started this show for one simple reason. We love connecting with our community. As the founder, Spence and I can honestly say our favorite thing is connecting with customers here at Live Bearded and having the opportunity to just talk about life, being a man, and what it's like out there in this crazy world. So we're here to just chop it up and answer your guys' questions.
That's right, guys. And this is an Ask Us Anything. So whether it's Live Bearded related, health, wellness, fitness, lifestyle, literally ask us anything that's on your mind, and we're going to give you our opinion. Whether you like it or not, that's up to you, but we're going to tell you what we think.
You are going to get their
You're
opinion.
going to like it. You're going to get it.
It's going to be good.
All right, guys, and if you want to know how to submit your questions, JR, what do they do?
You can submit your questions by emailing us at ask@livebearded.com or comment in the video below, and
comment
we
up.
will respond.
Yeah.
Or you could follow us on Instagram too and comment there.
Yeah.
Ask
we
us
give you
questions.
we're trying to make it easy on you guys. Let us know what do you want us to talk about. And we'll do it.
How you guys doing? How's your week going? Anything new in the world of JR and Spence?
I got waterboarded by Nate last Friday.
You got waterboarded.
So good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right, we share a little sneak peek. Go ahead and explain. Give some context to the waterboarding.
So we're shooting our new Valentine's EDU video for YouTube. It's going to be, guys, it's really funny. It's
really good.
It's good. You won't be disappointed. But it focuses on a guy, me, who got broken up with a girl, and I'm trying to win the girl back.
Yep.
But I'm a mess. Nate comes in and rescues the day by telling me to use Live Bearded and walking us through the steps. The first step of having a great beard, Spencer.
Wash your beard.
That's right. Wash your beard. And the idea I had when I was writing, because visually I think it would be super funny, was me laying across my kitchen counter and having my head dunked in the sink with a water sprayer, just like blasting my beard.
That's totally how you wash your beard, right?
Yeah, it's absolutely how you wash your beard.
Yeah.
But I thought it would be so
Clearly there's
visually
some
funny.
interesting thing going on at JR's house.
Oh, yeah. It's so.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
Good.
so I'm laying across the counter. I'm like, yeah, we think like it's gonna be real funny, and we're like, let's do the close up first. And so Melena's like standing on the counter, camera pointing down with my head like leaning back into the sink. Nate takes the water, he starts spraying my face, and it's a lot more water than I anticipated. It starts going in my nose. My beard's already kind of sudsy because we're like pre-empty. He's like, gotta wash your beard. He takes like our beard wash, blasts my beard with it, then hits me with the water. You just see this water and suds just cascading into my nose and my mouth.
Yep.
And I'm drowning.
Yeah.
I drown on camera.
Amazing.
And it is worth it.
The reaction was great.
Yeah, but someone did obviously CPR because you're still here.
Yep.
And the beard looks great.
Yeah, beard looks
Clearly the
great.
products
Beard
work.
survived. Yeah. I trimmed it up in the commercial.
So did you get the girl back?
I guess you'll have to wait to see if
But
I got the
there's
girl.
a twist. There's a twist at the end.
There's
that you
a
do wanna
twist.
Check out.
Yeah.
It's a fun twist.
Yep.
Fun's one way to describe it.
And you, Spence, how you doing? How's dad life going?
Dad life is great, man.
I feel like this is gonna be the update for a
It's
while.
gonna be the update. It'd be like weekly. I need like weekly
It is.
updates. All right,
Yeah.
reporting back on this last week. I only got peed on one time.
What?
The funny thing is, I feel like anybody that has boys are like, dude, you're gonna get peed on. I'm like, nah, you're not gonna get peed on. You definitely get pissed on. It's just like the thing's out of control. So I've been peed on officially twice. And you know, it's you say that, but then it's like it's your kids. You're like, oh damn, bro, I got you. Like my bad. And it's like no big deal.
Nah, bro, I ain't having that shit.
Has he had any blowouts yet?
The one time I babysat for Jason. So our buddy Jason, I love the guy. He's like Spence and I have known him his entire life. I've known him for a long time. He's one of our best friends. And he calls me up one day and he's like, hey, Mink, so we have like this wedding we're supposed to go to, and literally like we can't find anybody to babysit. Like, do you think you can babysit? Tate, and I'm like, Tate's like 18 months old. I'm like, bro, I never fucking babysat a kid before. Like, I don't know if I can babysit Tate. You tell me. You think I can babysit Tate? And he's like, oh yeah, man, you'll be fine. It's nice and easy. Like, just give him the iPad, hang out, like just chill with him, play cars, whatever. He's like, it's easy. I was like, all right, cool. If you think I can do it, I'll do it. So I get there and they're like, okay, Nicole, Jay's wife, is like, okay, let me show you like what to do. Like if he like shits himself, you know, if you need to change a diaper. And I was like, wait a minute.
Wait,
Wait.
that might happen?
I have to change a diaper? I was like, I didn't
You've
sign
never-
up for this shit.
You never changed a diaper
Jay
before?
told me I had to change a diaper.
He said just sit with him on the iPad.
He buried the lead, right? So
I was at the wedding with Jason, and they were like, "Bro, we gotta go. Mink is babysitting." I'm like, "You got Mink to babysit Tate? Get out of here, bro! Go!"
Oh, so you never changed a diaper before? That was
Still
like
never.
Still
Still
never.
never.
Oh, you got out of it.
No.
You didn't have to-
yeah, I didn't give him anything to eat or anything to drink, so he didn't. I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
really kept that kid.
The whole reason why
Put a cork
I
in
brought
him.
this up is because Nicole's like, just be careful he doesn't piss on you. I was like, what? I gotta dodge shit and piss?
Bro,
This is
I'm
not what
out.
I signed
I'm
up
out.
for. And she's like, yeah, maybe just like when you open his diaper, just like push the front down just in case he starts pissing.
New fear unlocked.
I was like, yo, I'm not ready for this.
Yeah. On the parent side, on the product side, they make fucking products for everything. So we're talking getting pissed on. There's a product literally called the PPTP. And it's this little it's tiny, and you're supposed to put it over the pecker so you don't get sprayed on. I'm like, how are you gonna put this tiny little thing on this tiny little thing and expect it's like use a fucking like a towel or something.
Yeah.
But the products that these people are making to sell to these parents looking for any solution to their fucking kid,
PPTP.
it's a thing. Yeah, it's a thing. So I'm
Maybe
learning about all
Liberty
the
needs to get in
gadgets.
that game.
I feel like you just want to get a little cone, like a medium-sized cone, right? And you just like slightly pull it up and put the cone in there,
yes.
right?
Take
And
it
then
out.
if he pisses, it just pisses all up in the cone and then drains down.
There we go.
on him.
Just gotta clean them up.
Clean him up. Better him than
What's
me.
wrong with like a hand towel? You just
I
like
just
throw
do a
a
towel. Just throw a towel. in.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
fine.
for sure.
It's fine.
I mean, that's funny. They create
What
these
a-
little
Dude, there's
teepees.
What other random products
There's
you guys
products
got?
for everything. There's shushers and sleepers, and there's like a
What's a shusher?
What?
Shh. It's trademarked, bro. This product is this little electronic thing that literally shushes, and you just put it on and it plays music like white noise to help him sleep, so you don't have to go shh. It's okay, buddy. Shh. And they trademarked it. They're the only ones selling this fucking thing, and I bet it does like crazy. There's a gadget or gizmo for everything, and it's like, dude, our parents didn't have any of this shit, and we turned out just fine, right? But people obviously
We turned out just fine.
We're fine.
We're
guys.
fine.
We're fine. Yeah, but it's wild, and this shit's expensive. But
Power to you, bro.
Yeah.
Dad life's rocking.
that life's rocking.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe Liv Bearded should get in
Yeah.
the baby game too. Maybe like we make like baby beards or
Maybe
something.
we have shirts that say "Don't get pissed on." It shows like a little baby with a wee all over the place.
Yeah. There's something there for sure. What's new with you, bro? What's going on?
Man, that's a good question. I don't know. Nothing. I'm just grinding right now. I got back from Australia. I got back into the flow of things. I'm just working. I'm going to Cabo next weekend.
Oh, nice.
Never been to Cabo
Just a
before.
quick pop down.
Just
it's
a
only
little,
like a 2-hour flight.
little weekend trip. Yeah, there's a
Right.
place down there I've always wanted to stay. It's like this really cool hotel. It's
Yeah.
like right on the cliff.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to go there. But just working, man.
Yeah.
Like gearing up for the podcast to come out and just my own stuff. So, sometimes in life you got all sorts of crazy new stuff going on, like a baby and all
Yeah.
these things, and life is exciting and da-da-da. And then sometimes you're just like in it.
It's in the flow.
Just in the
Yeah.
like day in, working, grinding, like nothing really new. And I think like anything, there's like seasons, peaks and valleys. And so I'm definitely just head down working right now. I'm really excited. We got a couple of new hires for Live Bearded
Game changers.
behind the scenes coming up hard. That's going to
Yep.
be great. I'm excited for that. And a few personal things working on, but
Okay.
so what questions we got today?
We got some good ones from the community. First question we have is from Gary. Gary asked, "Hey guys, what is the difference between using a wooden comb or using a beard brush? Or is there any difference? Is one better than the other? Also, there's the acetate brushes, so let's just throw that in the mix too."
Throw them all in there. Yeah, the biggest difference on a comb versus a brush. So a brush is going to have thousands of bristles. It's going to really help like stimulate the skin. So if you actually have a shorter beard or if you're trying to grow a beard, the brush, the stimulation from actually using it on your cheek hairs will bring blood circulation to the surface and actually help promote growth. So if you have a shorter beard, it's more bristles to essentially get your beard hairs to kind of lay down. Obviously, if you have a longer beard, then the brush isn't going to get through the hairs, in which case the comb's a little bit better. So it kind of depends on what length beard you have. Would be one of the questions. But
So you recommend the brush for guys who want to like stimulate growth or just like have like a bigger
yeah, the
or
brush
have
really
a short
good if you're trying
beard?
to get like cheek hairs. If it grows out all wild, you want to get the cheek hairs to lay down. Use the brush, and that'll really kind of train those hairs to lay down. But
Okay.
then to get through the longer parts of the beard, you definitely want to comb. So they kind of worked a little differently.
Okay, that's good. Well, that's what he wanted to know.
Yeah.
I
You didn't know that?
I always like when I see our boar brushes
Yeah.
that we have, it always reminds me of like horse care. Like that those are the brush it
Yeah.
looks like the brushes you use on a
they-
horse. Like they're definitely a lot smaller, but like I remember brushing horses as a kid with something that looked really
You
similar to
brushed
that.
horses as a kid?
Yeah.
Really?
You've never brushed a horse?
I
I've
have
ridden a horse. I don't know that I've ever brushed a horse though.
Oh, I had to brush the horse before I was allowed to
you
ride.
let
Yeah. Like you got to brush the horse, clean it, and then you can put all the stuff on it
Fair
and
enough.
saddle it up.
Yeah, that makes sense. I didn't grow up with horses, so I just rode a couple times. Clearly, they didn't have to put in the work to earn the ride. They just got to get on it and
Yeah.
go. But
Well, put in the work. It was actually really scary. I could never go faster than like a trot on a horse because my legs were short and I couldn't like figure out how to grip the horse. So I'm just like
bouncing up
bouncing
and down,
and racking
Sounds
myself.
terribly uncomfortable.
It is. It's so uncomfortable. I watch, I mean, you see dudes in movies riding horses and like galloping super fast. And I'm like, no, that's not real. How they got like a pillow underneath them or something. There's no way that they're doing that, but people do it. I don't know how, but they
It
do
reminds
it.
me of Yellowstone. There's like the season where what's the one dude who's just like he gets bucked off the horse and he's a bull rider, Jimmy or
Oh,
something.
Jimmy, yeah, Jimmy.
So like
yeah.
when he first started learning to be a cowboy and he like they went on this like 12-hour ride and he like falls off the horse and he can't move and his ass is like completely
up.
chapped and bruised up.
I've got a funny picture of me as like a 10-year-old Spence. And we were in Colorado on a trip and went on this horseback ride. And I have this cowboy hat on and I'm just fucking pissed. You look at me and I'm just like, I'm sad, I'm pissed, I'm just hating life. It's because I almost got bucked in the face by this. So we were riding down the trail. There's these like old trail horses, right? They're like, put kids on them, they're not. But for whatever reason, the horse in front was pissed and he reared up. And what felt like the hooves were like this far is probably like 10 feet away from me because I was a little kid. But it kind of I was kind of traumatized and didn't want to ride a horse for a while after that.
Yeah.
I've got a picture. It's a nice memory.
You guys ever fallen off an ATV or a dirt bike or something?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, I grew up when I was 12 years old. I got a dirt bike, and we used to go riding. We go camping in the summers in the mountains, and I used to ride a lot. I never had any bad accidents, but I wrecked a couple times for sure. Yeah,
Knock on wood, never had any like injuries, but
Yeah.
definitely
yeah.
falling off.
I had a couple
Pushing into-
wipeouts where I was like, man, if I wasn't young, I probably would have broken a hip or something.
Yeah.
It wasn't on
ATV.
it wasn't on a motorbike, but I've got a scar at 9 stitches on my forehead. I was like 12 years old, and I was bombing my bike down this hill, and I hit this crack just right. Wasn't wearing a helmet like an idiot because I was, a kid. I was like, I don't need a fucking helmet. Yeah.
I don't need a helmet. That's not cool.
Went off the lip, straight headfirst into a tree. Literally don't remember like 3 days around that, and it was just like I
Nice.
just woke up a couple days later and
Dude, this
9
reminds me
stitches,
one
concussion.
time I had a similar story. One time I wanted to make a jump, right? So what do? You take like a piece of plywood,
Stack it or
and
some sketchy
stack it-
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I,
Checks
in
out.
my 10-year-old wisdom, got a piece of firewood that was a round roller log. I put the round log down and I put the 2x4 against the round log.
So it was right.
This is some great engineering.
Yes, exactly. So I go down the hill off the ramp. The roller, like the log, rolls out from under it. I freaking nosedive over the wheel, over the handlebars, right into the gravel, right? And a fucking rock, like a little gravel rock, stuck into my forehead. And I remember like feeling my forehead, and I pull it out, and blood just
starts
rushes
coming.
down my face, and I start screaming, ah! And I run into the house, and like blood's all
I'm
over
gonna
the face.
die.
I literally to this day, I still have the
So,
scar on my
indentation?
forehead.
Do
I can feel it up here. Yeah.
Show, here, tilt your hat up more so we can maybe.
It's like
Oh, I see.
right there.
Okay.
Okay, I think I
Yeah.
can see it.
Yeah. So that was my beautiful engineering. It was that day that I didn't know, but I realized later I would never be an engineer.
Here we go. And
Good
we
to
are all
know.
thankful for that.
Yeah. You're a way better entrepreneur and founder than an engineer.
What's the next question? What do we got?
Yeah. Next question we have is from Ty. Ty
What's up,
asked,
Ty?
I was listening to your episode when you were talking about how old the universe is. Oh, this is a little bit of a philosophical question.
Nice.
Yeah, he asked, I was listening to it when you were talking about how old the universe is, and I want to know what you think. Did the chicken or the egg come first? It's a classic debate. It's like if a tree falls in the forest and no one's around here, it did it fall. But
So
what do you think?
There's a really interesting docu-series called One Strange Rock. It's narrated by Will Smith. I think it's it used to be on Netflix. I don't think it's not on there anymore. I think it's a Disney property, so I think you could probably watch it on Disney Plus or something. But they go through like all the different unique aspects of the earth. And one of the episodes is like basically they say like how rock turned into life or something. And they kind of talk about the theory of evolution and how, depending upon your beliefs, like, there was these vents and the heat and the steam at the bottom of the ocean that like all combined together with oxygen and water and all the stuff. And it like created a single cell organism. And then through the millions of years of evolution that like turned into multiple species and it walked and blah, blah, blah. So in that theory, it was neither the chicken or the egg, but it was an organism.
Way to not answer the question.
It was an organism that evolved from a single cell into a multiple cell into a whole unique form of life that then ultimately, I think to some degree, the chicken has to come before the egg.
Good. I'm glad you said that because I agree with everything you said because that's my same process too.
Yeah.
Single cell organism to multiple cell. So eventually a creature has to come first that can even lay an egg.
Yep.
So I think the chicken came first.
Yeah.
Spencer, are you wrong or are you with us?
Well, actually, I don't think it was a chicken. I think it was like some weird.
It was a dinosaur,
lizardy
right?
Type of
Some
thing
reptilian.
somehow. Yeah, I don't know.
Eventually became a chicken.
It was an amoeba chicken.
Yeah.
Amoeba chicken.
I mean, that's one theory, or the other theory is like God just said, "Boom, chicken," and then he said,
And KFC
"Boom,
was
other
born."
chicken," and then he said, "You chickens fuck."
And here we are.
So whether you believe in God or you believe in evolution, the chicken came first.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
You gotta. Why did God make cloacias though? Those are so chickens and fowls, they poop and reproduce out of the same hole. So it all goes in there. Which is to me is kind of like an abomination of nature. It just sounds gross.
Chickens only? Who else? What else?
Fowl, like birds.
Oh, birds. Fowl.
Fowl.
I'll be honest with you. I never paid attention or
I
even
was
like
gonna say,
thought about
I
any
never
of
had
this
that
stuff.
thought before.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know why JR did.
that
but-
true fact?
that's
All
cloaca.
fowls?
Well, I know chickens and ducks for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Waterfowl.
ducks are really
like,
bad.
So just, we're all adults here. So like in humans, there's the vagina and then there's the ass, right? And so they have different functions,
Yeah.
obviously. In chickens, they just have an ass.
Yep, they have a single hole that does everything.
I mean, you could look at it as gross, or you could look at it as very, very functional.
Yeah, it's the same
Highly
thing.
functional.
It's highly functional. Yeah, same thing for for the male too. They got the penis and the butthole all in the same place.
That's not true.
That's true.
How does the butthole turn?
How are you
into
so
penis?
studied on this? I want to know.
This was.
He was making a movie once upon a time, and he had to do some
Do some
research.
research.
for it.
I'm digging a hole. I don't know if I should even explain any further. You know what? No one. Don't. Let's not.
You asked ChatGPT to tell you weird facts.
Oh,
and
yeah,
that's
you're
what
just
it told
prepping
you.
for the episode. That's
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're not gonna walk away from the conversation. We're
So
gonna.
how did this come up, JR?
I was watching TikTok and someone brought up horrible facts of the animal kingdom, and this was one of them. The ducks are like
So then you questioned
maniacal.
it.
Yeah,
You
I
had to
questioned it.
research to
I looked it
verify.
up.
Okay.
I cannot recommend this, but no one go on Google and Google image search a duck's penis. You will be scarred. As Mink
But you
search.
clearly did.
I clearly did, and I'm scarred, and it really altered my perspective on the world. I don't know how we got here. I
don't know how we got
regret.
here either.
I regret bringing us here down this path.
And the next question.
Yeah, I'm on ChatGPT right now. You know what we should do? We should you as the host of the show
Okay.
should bring us one wild, random fact about life. And maybe it's a fact, maybe
Fact or
it's not.
fiction. Maybe
Yeah,
it's like
fact or
like this.
fiction.
Like, is this
Yeah,
real or
yeah,
not?
exactly.
Like, fuck
So,
no, there's
like,
no way that's real.
ChatGPT, tell me 10 random facts about the animal kingdom.
Don't seem believable.
Kingdom that don't
Okay.
seem
Let's get AI up in
real.
this.
All right.
ChatGPT just heard everything I said. They're like, I can't top that. I don't want to be part of this
The animal
conversation.
kingdom is full of astonishing and almost unbelievable facts.
Yep.
Here are 10 intriguing
Duckass.
ones. Yeah, I can't pronounce this. Tuoratopus de Hornali, the immortal jellyfish.
Oh, I've
Immortal.
heard of those.
The species of jellyfish is capable of reverting back to its juvenile form after reaching maturity, potentially giving it the ability to live indefinitely.
Wow.
That's pretty
Someone
crazy.
tapping into that and trying
I'm
to
surprised.
dissect the
I'm surprised
genomes
someone
of-
definitely
yeah.
is. Yeah. Parrotfish sleep in bubbles. Some species of parrotfish envelop themselves in a transparent cocoon made of their own mucus to protect themselves from predators while they sleep.
Yum.
This is crazy. Dolphins have names. Dolphins use unique whistles to identify each other, similar to how humans have names.
So
Interesting. Oh yeah, what up?
So it's no longer Spencer Mink. It's oh man.
oh my gosh, how annoying did that get? We just lost so many subscribers
sorry, guys.
right there.
All right. Octopuses have 3 hearts. 2 pump blood to the gills, while the third pumps blood to the rest of the body. That's interesting.
Okay.
Kangaroos cannot
Aussie.
walk backwards. Due to their large tails the structure of their bodies, kangaroos are physically unable to move backwards.
No.
Put it in a corner.
All you
and
got to
it's
do is
stuck
stay
there.
behind it.
Really? They can't move back. The animal can't figure out how to walk backwards. I want to put that to the test somehow.
Oh, this
We
is
should- we
crazy
should
too.
test that.
Frogs can freeze without dying. Certain frog species can survive after being
I feel like
frozen.
I've seen that.
Their hearts stop and they don't breathe, but they can thaw out and hop away.
Wild.
All right, those are all
All
my
right.
random facts for today. What's the next
Thanks,
question?
ChatGPT.
Yep.
And also drop us a comment. Do you think JR should bring us a truth or fiction in the beginning that we have to process? Something wild. Or,
Wild,
I heard
this.
a fact the other day that was like, and actually I watched a video on how to deliver really good speeches. Like if you're speaking in front of a crowd, and they said one of the best things you can do to pull people in is tell them a really weird fact, but then somehow relate it back to like whatever the purpose of the talk is.
Okay.
And he was like, for example, there's more people alive today than have ever existed in the history of the world. I was like, how's that possible? Because like people have died for all of human history. How do we have more people alive today than have ever lived throughout history? I still don't buy it, but he said it was true.
Because of the
Okay.
compound growth over time, it's compounding. So okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know the math behind
mean-
it, but like it seems wild.
Yeah.
I'm really bad at math, and I've gotten it wrong every time we've had a math question. So
Yeah.
I'm not
We're
going to
good.
attempt
Anyways,
it. Thank you for the question, Ty. We're going to
Ty.
move on. I don't think we answered that. We got it enough.
no, the
All
chicken
right.
came
We went
first.
somewhere.
That's
Chicken
right.
first.
Yeah, the chicken did come first. All right. Last question is from James. James asked, can you tell me a time when Live Bearded had a big problem and how you guys solved for it?
What do you got, Spence? You can come up with one, and I'll come up with one.
Yeah, you guys have been doing it since 2016, so
Big
Yeah, the
problem.
truth is, there's problems that you solve every single day.
Yeah.
So it's just which one?
which problem
Which problem do we want to share?
is
as
going to
an
make the
example?
best story? I remember Pete telling me about, well, I don't know if this is necessarily a business problem, but Pete told me about how you guys got robbed at your first office, like all your equipment and computers.
We did get robbed, yeah. When we were first getting started, we didn't have an office yet, so we rented an Airbnb. And we were like looking for an office, but we're like, we'll just get an Airbnb. It was like a 3 or 4 month lease, and we're like, we'll
Yeah.
just work out of there while we're
Furnished, yeah, it's
finding an
furnished.
office. And Spence and I both went on vacation. We didn't go together, but we went I went someplace and he
I was
went
in
someplace.
Portugal.
Yeah,
I remember
yeah.
vividly where I got
Yeah.
the call from James.
He was in Portugal. I was in Barcelona. I remember I was sitting in my Airbnb in Barcelona. It was like 5 p.m, and I get this phone call. I was like, Mink, dude, they got us. I'm like, what?
That was Jones'
They
exact
got
words
us.
to me. They got us. I'm like trying to unpack it.
I'm
Like,
like, what-
who's they? What's
yeah.
What do you? They got us. What do you mean, bro? They took everything.
I'm like, are you fucking with me right now? Bro, I would not fuck with you about this. We came to the office. All the TVs are off the wall, all the monitors, all of our camera equipment.
Laptops, cameras,
everything is
drones.
gone.
Oh
Everything.
my gosh, everything.
All the electronics.
They took everything.
I was like,
It's like the Grinch who stole Christmas,
like
but
really?
your Airbnb.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm in Barcelona. I don't know what the fuck you want me to do right now.
Well, yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll see if insurance covers it. We'll deal with it when we get home. But just work from home for the next few days. We'll be back whenever, and we'll solve for it when we get back.
Yeah, I didn't have to worry about locking up the Airbnb after that, huh?
Now they kind of took everything. Reach out to insurance. They did not, in fact, cover anything. So we had to cover that out of our pockets. Which was fun.
Whoa.
And like, they took hard drives and all the things, right? So we
Yeah.
were just kind of wiped out.
It was early on. It was like 20, 25
Eight.
grand worth of stuff.
Yeah, it's 2018.
And we didn't have a lot of extra cash at the time. We were just, I mean, we didn't even have an office yet. We were like trying to figure
Yeah.
shit out.
Super bootstrap.
So that one was a pain in the dick, to say the
Yeah.
least. What's another one? I'm trying to think.
How do we solve for it?
So that one you just saw for it with some elbow grease.
Well, I think when you go to solve problems, like, what do you have control over, right? Like, it's easy to have a problem and get like frustrated, and we're on vacation, we're halfway across the world. Like, we could have easily let it ruin our trip, but it's also like, what can we control? What can't we control?
Yeah.
Let's deal with the facts. Let's not like get over emotional about it, and we'll deal with it.
What's something that was like a real hard like obstacle for us to overcome? I mean,
I feel like you guys are communicating telepathically right
no,
now.
I'm trying to think. It's like, you know, in the beginning, the biggest challenge at times was just cash.
Cash
paying
flow.
for inventory
Yeah.
when you don't have a lot of we don't have a lot of money, and then you got to buy inventory. And I mean, Spencer and I didn't pay ourselves for a year and a half.
Yeah, 18 months.
So I was living off credit cards. He was living off savings and just figuring it out along the way. I mean, that was hard. That wasn't a business problem. That was just, you know, the process of getting a business up
Part
and
of
running.
being a business owner.
Oh, Phil fuckery.
There's a problem.
All right, good. We got it. This looks
that one
juicy.
stings.
Oh man. Well, so when we first started developing products, you know, you don't know anything about manufacturing. I had some contacts in the manufacturing space. They referred us to a friend. We start working with this friend.
Handshake deal.
Yeah,
You
we
just-
didn't have any contracts. We didn't understand anything. Fast forward like 2.5, 3 years into the business, and now we got a business. We're doing a few $1 million a year in sales. Like, we've got some team, we got an office, and we were trying to develop additional products. And what ended up happening is he didn't give us access to any of our formulas, any of our products. He's like, you can't make these anywhere else with anybody else. Like, I own them.
We didn't own the formulas. We thought we did. And again, contracts keep honest people honest. We didn't have a contract. It wasn't spelled out as a handshake deal referral. We were inexperienced to a certain degree. We didn't know any better. So we learned the hard way.
Whoa.
So we got into this like really dangerous situation where we realized that we couldn't, because he was, in the beginning, he was great because he helped us get started, very
Low
low
MOQs.
MOQs, things like this. But also, like, what made him really great also made him really bad when we got bigger. And we started to outgrow him, and we needed to find a different manufacturer that could support us at a bigger level. And when we tried to make that transition, he was kind of like, no, fuck you guys. And we had this period where it was like 18 months where we were developing a relationship with a new manufacturer, and we had to kind of reformulate things from the ground up to some degree because he wouldn't give us the formulas that we had originally. And we had this period where we were like, okay, we can't tell Phil what's going on, because if he just like, he could just turn the switch off in the business. If he's like, oh, you guys are leaving me, like, I'm done.
I didn't think about that. And
Yeah.
you're,
We'd
have
you're
no
done.
product.
And then we
We'd
would have
dry
no
up, we'd be
product,
done. Yeah,
right?
out of
Because it
business.
took us like almost 2 years to like get new manufacturers, new everything, and everything back up and running. And so we just had this period of time where like we didn't control our destiny because we didn't own it.
That's scary.
And we were definitely on, it was like a nightmare.
For like a year and a half.
Yeah. And we bridged the gap, and, you know, it was tough because just being in business when you're not in control of something, like your product, man, it's really dangerous.
So what happened? So Phil held your formulas, and you found this new manufacturer that was going to that you were going to do business with.
Yeah, we used it as an opportunity to actually improve. So we said, here's our original stuff. Okay, let's turn this into a positive. Yeah, we're having to switch manufacturers, but what can we learn from this? How can we actually make this better for ourselves, our company, and our customers, right? So we reformulated everything from the ground up. We took all the feedback of what people loved about our original formula with Phil, and then improved on it, iterated on it to bring a kind of 2.0 with the new manufacturers, with contracts, with all the things we should have done out of the gate.
Yeah.
So we spun it into a really positive thing because that yielded the products that we have today, which are much, much better. So
Yeah, I mean, I say this all the time. The road to success is paved with failure. And our biggest failure in the beginning is we have never manufactured before. The first time you do something is the worst time. So we just were like, oh, you'll make them for us? Great. And we just like took off running.
low MOQs, you only have to order 500 at a time.
And truthfully, like the best way to start is a minimum viable
sure.
product. And that's what we did. And we just went through this period where we thought he was our friend, handshake deal. He was like always supporting us along the way. And then when it came down to it and it was like, hey, we're going to try to get a second manufacturer, when he saw his business was threatened, he was like, no. Like that's when he put the handcuffs on. And then that's when we had to go really rebuild kind of all new relationships in manufacturing. I guess this was like 2.5 years in, 3 years in. So that was a nightmare. And then we had to reorder everything all at once and we didn't have the cash. So we had to go get like a loan from the bank to finance all the
We had to
inventory.
forecast all the reorders to where we're selling out of the old stock before the new stock landed across all the SKUs. They all sell at different velocities. So like that equation was just a nightmare. It was it was a huge project.
That's probably the biggest problem we've had in terms of just purely the biggest impact on the business.
Yeah. There's challenges within the business, cash
Yeah.
flow, profitability, marketing cost. Like there's a bunch of things that come up, but that was like a big problem that we had to like strategically solve for. And it was over the span of probably 18 months, almost 2 years.
And when was that? You opened in 2016
Yeah,
and
we realized this like probably
19.
mid 2018.
Yeah.
And then it took us till
2020.
like right after COVID, like March, April, we relaunched we had new packaging, new labels, and then the new formulas. So we kind of like relaunched everything. And yeah, I mean, you said it perfect. It's like, you're going to fuck up. And how do you use that as an opportunity to grow and become better? And that's definitely what we did with 2.0. Everything was improved. And that really helped us take everything to the next level.
Yeah.
cool. So things broke, and from the ashes, you made something better.
Yeah. There's a lot of things along the way too. Like, a lot of,
Like warehouse issues. Think about when we first started, we used a third-party warehouse to help fulfill the orders. Minimal viable, let's test, get orders, have them at a certain order threshold. We said, we can do a better job, have a better customer experience, build a team, have a warehouse. There's things we didn't realize that would come with finding a warehouse. So it's like finding the real estate space, forecasting how much space you need. We got into it, our first one, thinking, oh my God, we have so much room. We can play basketball over here. We can hang out. We outgrew it in like 3 months. We're like, oh fuck, this thing is tiny. And then then you're like under a real estate contract. Then you have to look for new space and pay to break the lease. And there's always things that are coming up. I mean, just in that alone, we're still dealing with outgrowing warehouses, looking for the next one. Problems just.
I feel like landlords
nonstop.
should be more open though to business. Like if a business is doing well and they need to get out, like find someone to take over their lease so the landlord doesn't lose out. But
Yeah.
like
I get both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get both sides.
Yeah, it is a series of big, small, potentially catastrophic problems that happen. We said this on the last podcast, but a mentor of ours said, being a business owner is signing up for psychological torture. And really what that means is like, there's always something going wrong, whether it's, issues with personnel or manufacturing, or there's some customer issues, or, like during COVID, everything, we have the COVID lockdown, everything's kind of getting back to normal. Then everybody started shopping online. So sales are going crazy online. And then Amazon is like, you're not an essential product, so we're not going to ship your product. So people would order on Amazon, and then Amazon wouldn't ship for a month.
what?
And so basically, like, Amazon just killed us for 5 months, 4 months, whatever it ended up being. Like, we just lost all our Amazon sales. There's just like random things like that. I actually was talking to a friend who started a business in 2019. It was e-commerce. And when COVID hit, I didn't realize this happened, but she told me that she was shipping with, I think it was FedEx. It was either FedEx or USPS, one of the two, I don't remember. But she did like a viral video that like went crazy, and she sold like 20,000 units, which was
Sizable.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
great.
And because of COVID, whoever it was, USPS or FedEx, I don't remember.
Carrier.
Yeah, didn't ship the orders because they were like, this is non-essential. And so they literally held on to 20,000 orders for like 90 days.
Holy shit.
and she ended up having to refund
Refund
almost
and just
everybody,
all
and
the
then
reviews, the
she
scams.
lost
Oh
like
my god.
multiple six
Credibility.
figures on it, and the business basically died.
Yeah.
So she went from like launching viral video, 20,000 orders almost overnight. Like, oh my God, it's amazing. Like we hit the, we got the unicorn, to boom, not shipping orders. Sorry, we can't fulfill this because it's not essential. And to like losing multiple six figures and the business going out of business.
Damn.
So it's fucking
That
treacherous out there.
that sounds awful.
Yeah. The moral of the story is like whether it's in business, relationships, or life, there will always be shit that's outside of your control. And I believe the most important thing we do is take responsibility for our experience, right? Whether whether it's your fault or not, doesn't matter. It's always your responsibility. And if you can take radical responsibility for the way that you react and respond to situations, you can use the shit situations to grow and get better. And that's what we did. Every problem we've ever faced, there's been times where Spence and I have motherfucked about it and like vented to each other. This is fucking bullshit. We got to do this. Like, fuck this guy. Like, we have our internal dialogue where we get upset and we rant or whatever. We let out the steam. But then eventually it's like, okay, like it's on, like how we fix this is on us. Like what's done is done. We can't control the external circumstances. How are we going to take responsibility for it from this point on? And how do we solve that problem? And that is what's allowed us to go from like zero to tens of millions of dollars in sales, is just by solving the problems that they come up as they come up and then taking responsibility for our part in all of it. He told us he was going to do this and this. He was our friend this whole time. And now he's basically like not giving us the formulas and making us start all over. Like we could have been the victim of that situation, or exactly what Spence said. We were like, okay, this is an opportunity. How do we spin it? How do we use this to learn, grow, get better, to make our products better, to make the company stronger, et cetera, et cetera. And then if you can do that, man, you can overcome anything.
100%.
Yeah. Good. Thanks for the question, James.
Thanks,
Yeah.
James.
Appreciate you asking, man. I like talking about the behind the scenes. It's fun.
I love that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very.
If you have any business questions, let us know. I love talking about it, and we've had a good journey here over the last 8 years.
Yeah. Let us know by emailing us at ask@livebearded.com or put it in the comments below. We love the questions. And maybe you'll get featured. We'll see. On to our Do Better Dude of the Week now.
Yeah, guys, if you're listening, we love weekly featuring a do better dude, somebody out in the world just doing good shit. Because the truth is, when you flick on social media, definitely the news or any mainstream media, it's usually some negative bullshit headline. And we like to kind of focus on somebody doing some positive shit. So
Yeah.
JR scours the interwebs, finds somebody that's worthy of featuring. And we've had some good ones in the past. So
Yeah.
what do you got for us this
Yeah,
week?
one of the things we believe here is we used to say this all the time, like it's our philosophy to do better every day, to learn from our mistakes, exactly what we were talking about, grow through our failures, and strive to be the best that we can be. And we love highlighting dudes like that.
Yeah. And this one, I threw you for a loop last time.
Last week's
Yeah.
was some clickbaity headline. What do you got this week?
This one's a little more straightforward. This one's not going to take as much thinking. All right. So this one, February 7th, 2020, pre-COVID,
Ooh, barely.
Mr. Dane Weeks
Dane Weeks.
is in New York City at
Pre-COVID, okay.
a bus, or he's exiting the subway and he's on the street when he's approached by a woman he does not know. She comes up to him and she hugs him and she whispers in his ear, "Please pretend that you know me. There are 3 men following me." And she tells him that, and Dane is taken back. He's in New York City, so he starts to think that maybe this is a setup, maybe like he's about to be pickpocketed or something's going to happen. When Dane heard her speak that, he felt like she was being very sincere and it felt true because she seemed scared. So he held her by the hand and they walked the block. And Dane doesn't typically take the subway or walk that block or anything. So the fact that he was there was a blessing for her because, she was there alone and she was in fact being followed by 3 men who had followed her for several blocks, and she was getting nervous and scared, and she saw Dane, who was just standing there.
A big, handsome stud of a man.
Also, he has a beard.
Yep, of course.
Just wanna
I'm
say-
not surprised.
Yeah.
She felt safe enough to approach him and ask him for help, and he stepped up and he was just present. Like, he didn't have to fight off any dudes. He just pretended to be her boyfriend, walked her home, and they just talked, had a conversation despite like the really scary situation that was going on, and got her home. And she was very grateful. He was really happy to help. He got a great story out of it.
Solid.
But very
That's amazing.
classic example of a dude who was called upon at a moment's notice. And while it may not have been a lot of time or a huge effort, him just doing that simple act of
Oh, it's
just
huge.
being present and just
Yeah.
being there with her, probably kept her from getting hurt. I don't know what would have happened, but she definitely would have
We'll
been
never
hurt or
have to
taken
know.
advantage of.
Made her
Stepped
feel
up.
safe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah. I mean, that's proof right there that growing a beard will have you be perceived to be a protector, provider, right? I mean,
Yeah.
hey, there we go.
Yeah.
It's got a great beard, nice friendly smile on
Yeah.
the face. Man, it must be a nightmare for women out there for like have to go up to strangers and just do
Yeah,
stuff
that's
like
tough,
that.
man. That's tough. And being in his situation too, I could see how if he's not normally in the subway, you're in New York City, it's like, okay, is this a scam? Is this a setup? Like, what's going on? But for him to trust his gut and go with it and be there to provide and help her out, like, yeah, it's a blessing.
Yeah, he could have easily just been like, "This feels scammy.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna get jumped."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuck with it though.
Yeah.
Very sweet. There's very sweet and short story.
I don't know about you guys, but as like a man in situations like this, I feel like that's part of why I want to be healthy and in shape and physically capable. Like, God forbid a situation like this ever happens to anyone, but to be in a position to be able to step in and help out, right? And
Yeah.
provide and protect. I think there's something inherently in all of us that wants to do that. Being able to actually step into that situation in the moment to do that is something else. But I love hearing stuff like this.
Have you guys
step
ever
up.
been or have you guys ever found yourself in one of those fight or flight moments? Something just like that, whether you're protecting someone or whether it
Yeah.
was just you, like just being aware in your situation.
Not like this. I've got a couple experiences traveling. One time I was in Costa Rica and I went to the casino and I won like $2,000. And these days I used to carry my like small bills on the inside and then the big bills on the outside. So like you get to the big bills first, or you have to like open the money up to like. Anyways, so I was walking home. I see this girl. She looks like she's 15 or 16. You know, it's like this Costa Rican girl, and she's holding this little baby, and she has a sign that's like, you know, money, whatever. And I just won a bunch of money, and I wanted to give. So like I pull out this fat wad of like $2,000, right? And I flip through all this money to get a $20 bill, and I give it to her. And behind her were 3 dudes. And there was like, she was kind of in front of like a 7-Eleven or something, and like 3 dudes were kind of standing off in the distance behind her, and they see the cash. And then I like look at them and they're looking at me, and I put the money back in my pocket and I start walking. And next thing I know, these fucking 3 dudes are following me. Right? So to the point, like anybody who tells you if you're in a position like this, like never fight, never engage, just like get away, you know? So I just like started jogging and went back to my apartment, which was like a couple blocks away. They never followed me. So that wasn't really the scenario, but the only time I think you said 3
Yeah.
guys, like there was
Yeah.
legitimately 3 guys following me because I had a freaking stack of cash in my pocket. There was another scenario when I was in Thailand, and I remember I was there by myself, and I came out of a restaurant. It was maybe like 11 or 12. It was a little bit later. And there was this girl in front of me, and she was literally like 5 foot tall, 100 pounds. And she was stumbling, like could not walk straight. She was kind of like stumbling, boom, boom, boom. And then she kind of like fell over, and then she sat down on the curb. And something just didn't seem right. So I went up to her. I was like, are you okay? And she's like, no, I don't feel right. Like, I don't know what happened. I feel really sick. And like, she was either really, really drunk or someone put something in her drink. Like, but she was like, I'm telling you, like 100 pounds, this tiny little girl. And I was like, are you here with anybody? She's like, no, I'm by myself. And I was like, do you know where your hotel is? She's like, I don't remember. And there's like one main street. This was in Samui, like one
Oh my
main
gosh.
street on
Shuang,
Shuang.
yeah.
And I was like, do you know if it's that way or that way? And she's like, honestly, I don't know. And she was like super out of it. And I was like, may I walk you to your hotel? And she's like, please, like, help me. So I was like, all right, well, we're going to walk to the right. And we walk to the right. We go like down like 10 minutes. And she's like, no, nothing looks familiar. I'm like, okay. We walk all the way back. And I'm like, okay, this is where we started. That was the place we came out of. Like, we're going to go to the left now. We walk like 100 fucking feet. And she's like, oh, this is it. I was like, okay. And then I'm like, do you remember where your room is? She's like, no. And I was like, do you want me to walk with you? She's like, please. I literally walked around this like hotel with her for 15, 20 minutes. We found her room. She got into the room, literally like opens the door in front of me, thanks me, and then like closes the door behind me. And I was like, this is how freaking kids, not kids, but this is how like people get kidnapped, trafficked, like raped, all the things. Like it was, I just remember thinking, I've traveled a lot and I've met a lot of single women traveling. You know, a lot of girls are like, oh, I can't travel because I'm by myself, and a woman, it's different, da da da. It definitely is different because you have to have a little bit more
situational
awareness. Like, I've met a lot of girls traveling, and you know, a lot of them are safe and no problems. But man, there's a couple situations like that where I've seen girls that are out and they're just like by themselves. They're in a super risky situation, and fortunately, in that situation, I was able to help. Those are like the only two situations that I can think of. I've never really had any danger take place. I mean, in all the countries I've been to, all the places I've been, never had anything happen in the U.S. I guess I'm pretty lucky.
Yeah. Well, it just goes to show, ladies, find yourself a bearded protector out there.
Moral of the story.
Yeah, moral of the story is find yourself a bearded man that can just be your escort.
There you go.
See?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it for today, guys. If you have any questions, ask at livebearded.com. We'd love to answer them for you. And if you're tuning in with us, we genuinely appreciate you. We started the podcast just because we love connecting with you guys, chopping it up, talking about the crazy experience in the world today. Until next time.
Live bearded!
All right.
Sweet. Good job, boys. Thank you.